Thank you, guys. And hi, Lars. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
We've met before, but my name is Josephine. I had the honor of co-hosting last year as well, so it's really nice to be back. It's really nice to see the team again. Lars, I have you here today as you're going to talk about, your talk is called Hafnium from the Inside. Like Martin was just saying, you're a security consultant with Juvex.
Yep.
You used to work with the Danish Association of Pharmaceutical Industry, and you've basically been in business since 2005.
Yeah.
So you know your way around.
Yeah. I've been tinkering with computers since forever. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And first of all, I was wondering, maybe you can tell us a bit about what is it exactly that you're doing at Juvex? And then second of all, so it's two questions in one. If you can tell us a bit about, why is it that you're here? And why has the last 6 months, 9 months' time been extremely challenging?
Hectic, yeah.
Exciting, and very helpful to the rest of the world?
Sure. So I do all kinds of security consultancy work, but what's relevant here is that I do forensics incident response, and that's pretty much whenever a company have problems with the network, computers, servers, something like that, they try to contact us and get us involved to help out their issues. And why I'm here is that because in the beginning of the year, we had an incident where Exchange servers were being exploited, and that sort of ended up in a pretty interesting place. There were 0 days involved that Microsoft had no idea existed, that we helped fix. So yeah, that's sort of a.
So I'm basically standing here with an icon in the InfoSec community. Well, so sorry, I am. Maybe just one disclaimer is that as we go along, we're not going to get that technical as you could have. We're more going to take an approach of describing, basically what's been going on since you found the 0 day, and maybe take a bit more high-level approach. So we might also have some assumptions about some technical background knowledge. There is an opportunity to ask questions on different platforms, so please go ahead. We have a team in the back end making sure that I get the questions for Lars, so please don't hold back. So Lars, let's dive into it.
Right.
What is it exactly that we're looking at here?
So what we found was that the voicemail system of the Exchange servers is horribly vulnerable, or was, because it's patched now, but it was possible to put in fake voicemails into the servers and instantly get root access to the server and be able to do anything on the server. And since the Exchange server is the heart of many organizations, I mean, which organization can't live without email today? Yeah, so it's a nice place for hackers to live on the internet. So,
absolutely. And then, so what did you find?
Well, that was sort of the interesting thing about it, because we got called into this incident basically because they had seen some fairly obvious traffic, stuff like that on the servers, and they dumped the memory to try and extract passwords, it's really noisy. Like rookie noisy. So I was really confused. Like, how could you get into the server with no trace, and do something that immediately alerts me to your presence? Right.
And why would you want to do that?
Yeah. So we're not sure yet. But we assume that there are two teams in play.
Yeah.
One team gets the access, and then they just handed the server off to a secondary team with more time.
Yeah.
We are likely lesser skilled hackers with just a script, like do this, explore the network, see what we can do.
Okay.
And I mean, they might have just messed up. I don't know. We had load balancers in front of these Exchange servers, so a lot of the requests they made didn't hit properly.
Right.
So there were a lot of noisy and retries and stuff that didn't work for them.
Yeah.
So I think they might have gotten a bit desperate and then tried to use common tools instead of something stealthy.
Okay, so they were actually still, on the move where you were looking at this?
Yeah. So we started like just taking the exchange servers offline, just to make sure that everything was contained and hopefully nothing had been leaked at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we managed to find the tools that they have left on the servers.
Okay.
So they couldn't get that back in and clean up.
Yeah.
And immediately when we took the servers offline, the organization was hit with a massive phishing attack. So I think they might wanted to get back in and try and clean up and
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not let us discover what they've done.
Okay, so they didn't give up that easily.
Nope.
Okay. Can you tell me about? So we're looking at a 0 day. How was your 0 day?
Right.
And then the process and the timeline that came after that.
Yeah. So it actually is more like a month and a half from the initial incident response time. We got called in on January the 19th.
Yeah.
And a week after that, we submit all of this information to Microsoft in order to try and get this fixed, trying to get some information from Microsoft. Is this really a 0 day? We could find no documentation, no information, no prior exploits that did stuff like this. So we were like, hey, help us out here.
Yeah.
And then they were really slow. I mean, we had a customer like screaming at us like, what can we do? Can we just patch it? Can we bring back email for our employees? What can we do here? Yeah. And we're like, yeah, we really don't know because...
you don't just patch in a situation like that.
No. Yeah. I mean, the servers might be in a really bad state. So we've continued working on cleaning up and seeing if we could like bring them in a state that they didn't have to roll over some massive Exchange servers.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I think even I think Lars has a slide. Maybe we can have that on the screen as well. And so you had that. Thank you. So you had that. Your own 0 day, and then what happened from there? Yeah.
So when we shipped the material to the MSRC team, that's the research team at Microsoft at Redmond. Mm-hmm. I pretty much tried to get in contact with them like every day to see, hey, is there any progress on this? Who's working on it? Can I get some information? What are we looking at? What can I do to mitigate this? Yeah. Have you seen it before?
Did you call them? Did you email them? Like, what was your access to them?
There's no real access to this team. Okay. There's a portal where you could like have a case and you can request more information from the team. Okay. And I did that all the time. There's no phone number. There's no email. Yeah. And what ended happening was that Microsoft in the UK contacted me and tried to work out and try to get more details and get files, get logs, stuff like that to try and do some attribution and try and figure out how big was the scale of this attack really. Right. Because they already had some information from other attacks that they wanted to correlate. Okay. So how long from your initial contact to Microsoft until they actually got back to you? Well, 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah. How did you feel in that meantime? I was stressed. Yeah. And I was a bit annoyed with the whole situation because I really wanted to prove to the customer, like, you've been hit with something that might be tailored for your organization. Yeah. We don't know. Microsoft haven't really been able to help us debug this and find out where the flaw in the server is. Right. Besides doing our own research, of course, which enabled us to submit it in the first place. Yeah. And then how was your dialogue with Microsoft when they finally did get in touch? It was great, really. Yeah. Two guys called me up on Signal, and we had a fairly long discussion running this week and a half, where they sort of like not really confirmed that it was a 0 day, but hinted at that this was something that had been escalated on the development teams. Okay. So what happened on February the 25th was that our own monitoring picked up a lot of exploits in the world, trying to get into servers around the world, using stuff like this, and then Microsoft reacted, and then a few days later they dropped the patch early. It was scheduled for March the 17th. Okay. 7th. Yeah. Yeah. So 5 days before scheduled release, they decided to emergency patch the world, or release the patch and then try and wake people up and like get them to patch. Yeah.
So I guess that was a major hint for you, realizing what you were actually dealing with.
So yeah, and I was given 8 hours of warning. Like they just texted me and said, "We're dropping the patch now.
Yeah.
If you have any information that you wish to release, go ahead and get it ready."
Okay.
So yeah, I wrote up a blog post rather quickly because I thought like, okay, I have there's some time left for the regular patch schedule. Yeah. Yeah. Nope.
Okay.
So it dropped out of the thin blue air. Yeah. All of a sudden, and with a lot of information from Microsoft telling system administrators to just go ahead and patch as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That went slow.
I could imagine, especially in your shoes.
Yeah.
So how do you actually, I know you can't exploit the vulnerability anymore, but back when you could, how would you do it?
So I have a slide for that as well, and we might want to stay on that for just a little while. So the bug that we found is the one on the bottom of the blue bubbles, and it's part of a chain. So you need more exploits to actually get into the server. Yeah. So the one that we found just takes you from initial foothold on the server to full access. Right. So you need to get in somehow. Yeah. And you need to plant a voicemail. Yeah. And that voicemail gives you full access. Okay. Yeah. And there are multiple ways to go about this, which some of the other groups that are attributed to this Hafnium find. Yeah. They found the top part of this, where other exploits just allowed them to just write files on the server wherever they wanted from the internet, and that's not really good for the health of the server. Yeah, no, not really. No. So once you can just write a malicious file to any path on the server, the server is so internet exposed that you can just drop shells right on it, and it will call back out. Or you can call in to that shell and just get the full root on the server that way. Exchange, when you install it, pretty much every service on it runs as system. Yeah. So what if you can just get one of these? I think 24 services exploited. Well, you have the system under your control. So yeah. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, even the voicemail. Even the voicemail. Yes. And after that, is there any further steps, or maybe? Yeah, I think we can maybe skip to the demo here. Yes, so we're so lucky that you actually made a demo for us that we can showcase. And it's going to be that we're going to play it, and Lars is going to be speaking over it, so you can follow the process. Yeah. So I think we need to jump a slide, Jon. Yeah. Or jump the feed to. Yeah, I'm seeing my slide. I'm not seeing the video. Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah. You know, this is the beautiful thing about being the first. Yeah. And I feel completely comfortable because I know we have the best possible people working on it right now. So I'm sure we'll figure it out. Yeah, I was so happy that I didn't have to do this live and then just run a video of it. Exactly, but maybe meanwhile the guys figure it out. Yeah. I can jump to my next question and then ask you, in your work over the last 6-9 months, did you find out who was actually using this exploit? Yeah, so attribution is really hard, but there is a lot of work by Microsoft and a lot of American organizations that were hit by this that pretty clearly pointed the exploit towards China. Right. So what happened in the US, which was where the bug was most exploited, some guys hired servers in the US to like camouflage where they came from with Chinese credit cards. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So and then launched the attack from those servers, but I mean it's still pretty easy to track back to if you actually make the effort. Yeah. And you have the tracking to do that and the authority to go in and ask who owns the servers. Right. So in this case, it wasn't directly launched from China. We had 2 locations somewhere else in the world. Okay. but again, it was two hosting companies where it's rather easy to just buy a desktop access and then just go from there. Yeah.
Okay. And you just said that a lot of the exploits were made in American companies. Do you know what the impact was on some of these companies?
Well, so getting the Exchange server from any big company allows you to do a lot of things, and different things, and multiple groups are using these bugs to get in. Yeah. There's the obvious industrial espionage. To get in the emails, you can probably get some saucy information because engineers are happily discussing stuff in email. Yeah. There's the possibility to just do simple CEO fraud. Right. I mean, if you're in the email system, it's fairly easy to impersonate people in the organization when you can just send mails at them, ask them. Yeah. And you can just get up to all kinds of trouble. Once you have the Exchange server, it's fairly easy to go from that to the Active Directory and inject yourself as the main administrator for that organization and then just loot everything you want. Right. So, the scale can be from lost a few emails to lost the company. And we saw automated attacks using this deploying ransomware. Okay. A little bit, I think, 10 days after the patch. And that's probably some guys that just reversed the Microsoft patch. Okay. And then figured out how to exploit it and then just drop ransomware on whatever they can get to. Because the ransomware at Exchange server is the... Do we still see that? Do we still have reverse engineered exploits? Yeah, sure. No patches. They get reverse engineered in like, I don't know, 2 days from release at max. And then people know what the bug was. You can start exploiting vulnerable systems. Right. Yeah, so that happens. And more practical question, would you think it would be possible to go in so deep that you could make like an actual ransomware attack? Yeah. This is fairly trivial going when you have complete access over the Exchange server. It's trivial to get to those systems. Yeah. A lot of systems inside organization usually have some kind of trust with the Exchange server. Yeah. Because they want to send emails or they have some path or something. Yeah. I think we're good. Yeah. So let's try the video.
Hi, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our BSides Copenhagen talk. Today, my colleague Manu and I are going to present you our talk breaking the...
Yeah, that's okay. We're working on it. Jon is taking his hands to his head. Okay.
Right, so I can see myself on the screen, but we can. I can talk to it anyway.
You can do that.
Yeah. So what we have in my lab is two Exchange servers that are trusting each other because they're in a cluster and it's easy to move mailboxes from one server to another. Right. And they're exposed to the internet. Yes. Yeah. Like Exchange servers usually are. Yes. People want to exchange mails with the world. Yes. So you plug it into the world. Yeah, it's kind of the purpose. Yes. And once you have this fake voicemail, you drop it in the voicemail directory. It's a simple whatever directory like anything else on the Windows server. And Exchange server picks that voicemail up and thinks, this is a voicemail. I need to do something about this. Okay. Yeah, and it is encoded in a special way. So instead of telling somebody, hey, you had a missed call or you're late for a meeting or something like that, there was a voicemail left for you from this and this person. Yeah. Yeah. Instead, it just writes shell to the web directories, allowing for remote access to the server.
I think we'll give it another go.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna try and start the video, and
let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I can see myself on the screen at least. So on the left here, we have the Exchange server 1, and I'm just here dropping a text message into the voicemail directory, and Exchange will pick that up and throw it away because it doesn't really want to do anything about it. On the other side, we have the second Exchange server, labeled Exchange server 2. Yeah. And once I pick up this fake voicemail, I'll just go ahead and copy it right into the voicemail directory.
Right.
Yeah. So Exchange.
Looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Far.
So Exchange pick up the other file and just throw it away.
Yeah.
This file instead, this will take approximately 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'll be refreshing the other window. That's on the other Exchange server.
Right.
We should have file write on that Exchange server pretty much immediately as soon as as it wants to process this fake voicemail.
Yeah.
And what we get is an ASPX file, which is it's a web shell.
Okay.
And I'll open it here.
Yeah.
And what we have, well, it's a file that you can call with two parameters, P and C.
Yes.
One of them is a file name, and the other is the code they put into that file name.
Okay.
So you can just write files to the Exchange server now.
Right. And okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's scary.
Yeah, and that's not a lot of code. I mean,
it's not.
That's one line, and then you're into this.
Not
server.
even actually. It's not even one line of code.
No.
That is pretty scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can really wonder, how did no one catch this before?
Yeah. So the thing is, with the voicemail system in Exchange,
yeah,
it's very trusting of itself, because what the developer thought, okay, it's like the only thing that ever gonna send me a voicemail, well, it's myself. Like nothing else can put voicemails into me, so I'll just process whatever. I already trust it because I wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when somebody else can write files to that, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it was fairly easy for me to just copy paste a file into the directory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Service interruption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that video to be on. You need to either run duplicate or extend it.
We're just having some technical
I'm not extending it.
support from Martin himself.
So I'm only running one screen.
Yeah, but that one's outputting on HTML.
Okay.
So you need to stop your presentation. That's probably
why. I'll probably just duplicate.
There we go.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great success.
So I should run it again?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
Then it makes more sense.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So, one Exchange server has two windows open, and one Exchange server has one window open here. And as I said, well, I'll put in just a text file, and it will pick it up and remove it because it's not good. And the file size is interesting as well. Like
I see.
So the upper file is a regular file.
Yeah.
It's just 1 kilobyte.
Yeah.
And I'm dumping 26 megabytes into the directory in order to trigger buffer overflow.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty clever, because what will happen after it has written this file?
Yeah.
The service will crash.
Okay.
Yeah. So normally when it has, you see, it removed the other file.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't process it. Because this file is so big, it will crash instead before it removes the file.
Okay.
Yeah, and Exchange doesn't like that its services are down.
Nope.
So in 2 minutes, it will restart the voicemail service.
Okay.
And it will see the file again.
Okay.
And write the shell again. So if you remove the shell from the other server,
right.
Yeah, it will pop back like that. So you're persistent on the server.
Okay, so it's pretty sneaky like that.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. From a technical point of view, it's a really nice piece of code or exploit, buffer, trigger, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. So once you're on the system, you're not getting booted back out.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. We actually finally got the video, so I think we're good for now. Thanks. And as you could see on the screen, it was horribly simple and straightforward. A bit scary when you think of it as a 0 day on an Exchange server. Lars, what do you think are going to be, or already have been, the wider implications of this 0 day?
So, a lot of organizations were hit by this, and especially the other exploits that were shown in the timeline, because everybody had webmail exposed,
of course,
to the world. So I hope that people have learned something from this and start not having web access to the Exchange servers on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, moving mails is fine. That's just SMTP traffic, but it's the access for mobile phones, for just opening your Outlook when you're at home and not logging in. That's the exploitable part.
Okay.
And we're seeing more of it. It just keeps rolling right now. We've seen like 6 months of new stuff breaking during that negotiation of trust between the client and the server.
Right.
So you can pretty much you could, before it was patched, just bypass it and just get in on the server instead of going to your mailbox.
Yeah. So do you think that Microsoft were properly scared or surprised by this? Or do they get hit by 0 days constantly? Well,
they do get hit by 0 days constantly.
Yeah.
And they have, for the last 4 years, I think, they have been better about dealing with it. But certainly their communication about it to the researchers that report them can be improved a lot. Okay. I think the team is still too small at Microsoft.
Right.
So the managers are hard to get a hold of and don't know enough about what their team is doing.
Okay. So that's it for you, Microsoft. I hope you're listening. I do actually have a question from the audience. But before I get to that, we're talking about the wider implications. So one thing is the business side of how organizations have been reacting to this. But has there been any political impact from this 0 day?
Yes, indeed there has. So after I think it was 3 weeks of people not really getting their servers patched, we had the FBI, the NSA, and the CISA releasing advisories to just go ahead, patch your things. We're under attack, get it fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have White House briefings stating that, we really need to deal with this. We really, like they did with SolarWinds. Yes. And then like 2 massive exploits hitting organizations worldwide, especially the US was really badly hurt by this.
Right. So you almost know the American president.
Oh yeah, that's an overstatement. But yeah, they came out and said you need really to go fix all of these bugs right now. Right. Patch your servers, make sure that American business email is not compromised.
Right. Yeah. So it's had a major global impact, both on businesses, politically. You really woke up the people.
Yeah, I hope so. I guess I kept a lot of Exchange administrators pretty busy for the days after the patch came out.
Right.
Because I pretty much just spammed everybody I knew. Let's just go patch right now.
Yeah.
The patch is here.
Yeah.
Go get it fixed before you get hacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were busy, but you were being really helpful, I'd say, on a global scale. I would like to finish on one question from the audience, and that is, did you get any swag or reward for your help from Microsoft?
No. They don't offer bug bounties for Exchange Server.
Okay.
They do it for Office 365 because that's a different platform.
Okay.
But the on-premise Exchange Server is out of scope for bug bounties.
Okay.
I did get a shout out on Twitter.
Okay.
So that's nice, I guess. But no official anything. No name flag on a wall or
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So that was pretty much it. They.
I hope they're going to up their game. And now at least you have maybe a new following of fans who really appreciate what you've been doing.
Hope so.
Lars, thank you so much for coming here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Really interesting. Looking forward to continuing the conversation. And I think we can go back to the main studio with Martin and Dennis.